Welcome back everybody. My name is Christine. I live in Melbourne, Australia with my 3 kids and partner. And I'm just going to do a start of the year 2026 WIP parade. I'm going to be showing all the projects that I have been working on and intend to work on. I'm going to start with a finish between, I had a couple of months off at the end of the year where I just sort of lost my stitchy bug. So between Christmas and New Year's, I picked up a cross stitch my son asked me to do for him. And I wanted to get it done by the end of the year, just so I had it done. This is Grogu and Mando. I started this in July 2025 and finished it, when was it? 28th of the 12th, 28th of December. So I just pushed on and got it done. And I now know that I absolutely do not like doing backstitch. That took me ages to just bite the bullet and get that bit done. Because it's on this particular chart, it was not actually obviously charted. A lot of backstitch isn't charted, but it was on the PDF picture. But they weren't stitched in, they were just lines done on the computer, like, I don't know, in an editing software. So it was actually more harder, in my opinion. But I think in general, I just don't like backstitch. I really do stay away from partial stitches and backstitch projects. That's just my preference. I don't know, some people do love it. Not for me, not for me. So I'm going to start with my oldest to most recent WIP. I'm going to move across so you can see. And I am just going to insert them because I was able to take some time, iron them, lay them out and get nice pictures. So I'm going to insert them. And then I'm going to be talking about my plans for the rest of the year, which I already have into full swing, my own personal challenge. So stick around for that. I'm going to look down because I have all my projects written in a book. So let's get started. My oldest WIP is Pokemon, and I started that in 2024, in October 2024. That's still going. I do really enjoy this one because I can start on a individual Pokemon and I feel like I've got these little wins. And I think it's 151 or 152 original Pokemon. It's Generation 1. This is a free pattern from Lord Liberton and it can be found at lordliberton.com. So that's my oldest. Not finished, obviously. The next is Christmas Sampler. I started in April 2025. And this one's a fun one. I did sort of think that I would have it done by Christmas, but because I took a few months off and I just stopped pushing myself, it's not done. So that will be a goal for a finish this year, but I don't really like to put too much pressure on myself because when I put pressure on myself, I do push myself really hard to get things done and then I burn out, and I don't want to burn out again or get over it because I really do love stitching. This is by Daily Pattern Post and I got it from Etsy. All of the projects you see will be on 14 count, 2/1 full cross. And if you can see that this Christmas sample is a little bit bumpy. The fabric was really tough. It was really hard and stiff. So I washed it and then I ironed it. And it's got like those, it's not metal, but it's like the hard thread in it. I don't think I should have ironed it. So probably don't iron them, just so you know. Next is Gingerbread Houses. Also, this fabric is super, super stiff. So I did wash it. I'll talk more about that in a moment. This is from Ulysses Blue Stitching from Etsy. I have I have 14 WIPs and I've chosen 10 to start and focus on for my challenge. I did make sure after I finished Grogu Mando, I made sure that I pulled out every single one of my projects and put at least 100 stitches in them, just so I could finish off the year knowing, even though I have worked on them all this year, all this work you're seeing on these projects have been done this year, except for Pokemon, because that was started the year before. So all the progress is from 2025, but I wanted to really finish off strong, you know? So I made sure that I put at least 100 stitches. One of the projects had 125 stitches I put in it, but it was better than nothing to complete the year. So I'm really happy with that. King and Queens of England and UK from Clouds Factory on Etsy. This is one of my favorites. I started this in April 2025. Have I been telling you when I've been starting the rest? No, I haven't. Has it been a while since I made a video? Yeah. I apologize. I don't know how people are starting their floss tubes and ending up with like 5,000 views immediately. I don't understand it. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. Goosebumps also started in January, February, March, April, May. This is from Happy Sloth Patterns. Yep, from Etsy, Happy Sloth Patterns. A lot of these were started in May because I didn't want to have unstarted projects. I didn't want to have a stash of unstarted patterns. So I started every single pattern I own, and that brought me up to, I think, 20. I'm not sure. I could count it. I'm not going to. I think it was about 20 or 22 projects. And then obviously I've been whipping down by completing them. Also May, Sampler Quaker Village from Daily Pattern Post on Etsy. I like this because it's a monochromatic, and I dyed the fabric. Did I dye that fabric? No, I didn't. I apologize. It's just a pink fabric that I'm using like a pink floss on, and I think it looks really cute, if I do say so myself. Cozy Witch started in June. At this point, I realized that I can make my own patterns, and I'm not an artist. I am using ChatGPT. I'm not selling. I don't sell, just so you know. I'm not like, I don't have a shop and I'm profiting from using AI, because I'm not interested in that. But once I realized I could work with ChatGPT and make an image and tweak it and fix it up and then make my own pattern. I haven't actually bought a pattern. I have bought a pattern since, I apologize. But I have to really, really like the pattern, because now I realize I can just make my own. So yeah. So this is from me, Thread Gatherer. Next, also started in May, is Yoda Rapstar. This image is by Dinah Designs from Etsy, and I reached out and asked if I could convert it into a cross stitch, and they agreed. They were happy for me to do so. So I'll be working on that more this year. That project is requested by my partner. He actually saw this image and said, hey, can you cross stitch this? And I was like, babe, this is not even a cross stitch pattern. But we worked it out. I worked it out, and this is the beginnings of. Also June, made in June, is Victorian Lady and Baby. I made this one, and I really enjoy working on this pattern. I really, really enjoy it. And I'm not sure if it's because of the way I'm stitching. I had to stitch the baby's face first to make sure that it didn't look like a weirdo. I didn't want to get so far into the pattern and then realize the baby looks like a weirdo. So I started with the face and then decided, yeah, I'm happy with that. And then went down to the bottom left and I'm working my way out from there. And I really like seeing the progress in this way, and knowing that I haven't missed any stitches. I literally can't move on to the next line or a couple of lines without filling in. So I'm really enjoying that. The next one I started was in July, which is Grogu and Mando, and that's been finished. And then this is the last pattern I bought and started in July, Evolution. Evolution's Cafe by Glitch Stitch on Etsy. Because my partner and I, when we first got together, we used to drive around for hours and hours before we had our babies, obviously, and play Pokemon. We had a great time. So that is all of my WIPs. As I said, there was 14. I've got 4 that I'm not bringing into focus right now. And that's everything. I'm super stoked. Now, I have decided to challenge myself and do a 10,000 stitches in 3 months, which is probably super doable for other people. I wasn't sure how long it would take me to do 10,000 stitches because it sounds like a lot. So I've got 10 projects, so I figured if I put 1,000 stitches into each project, then obviously that's 10,000 stitches, and to see if I can do it in 3 months. So I started this on the, I want to say the 7th of January, and I put all my WIPs that I'll be doing. I pick my 10 and put them onto a WIPs, a 2026 wheel, and then I go ahead and spin the wheel. So I'm going to show you my first spin. And now you'll see my physical projects. So my first spin was Lady and Baby, Victorian Lady and Baby. For reference, again, this is what it did look like. And this is what it currently looks like. I put in 1,004 stitches. So there's the baby. I can't see you anymore. There we go. Yep. There's the baby. And I made quite a bit of progress on that. 1,000 is a good number. It's a good amount of stitches to see some progress, and it's the perfect amount to do and then put away while you're still enjoying it to work on another piece, because then you look forward to coming back to it again. Next, that took me 2 days. So I figured now that 1,000 stitches is 2 days for me, because I've got the babies to look after and everything. I can't just sit for hours on end. I sit for literally as many minutes as I possibly can, but I can't just sit down and just keep stitching. Otherwise I would. So here's my next spin. So that's gingerbread houses. Now I think it's cute, the pattern, and I would have loved to have completed the whole thing, but the fabric is really stiff and dark. It's actually a pain in the butt to see. And I know there's tricks like use a light behind and everything like that, but I think I was just done. I think I was just done with it, and I'm looking forward to focusing on my other projects. So I just did the middle house. I rejiggered like the border and the snowflakes a little bit, and I just brought the border straight up between the houses. And yes, again, I would have loved to have done the whole lot, but it was going to take so much longer, and I just want to move on from it, to be honest. So that's what we can do. We can all do that. If we're not enjoying a project, we don't have to finish it. We can change things. This is our creative rights, liberties, can take creative license, I guess. So I love it. I do love it. I think it's beautiful, and I'm so happy with it as it is. So that can be framed for Christmas next year. So I'm calling that a finish. and that is crossed off my WIP list now. So now I'm only focusing on 9. Next spin. I spun Goosebumps. This is what it did look like. And now. Oh, I didn't say. Gingerbread houses. It was about 650 stitches because I had to like take bits off and stuff. I didn't get a proper count, but it was about 650. Goosebumps. I put in 1004, I think it was. And that will be the next challenge or the next focus. It will be done. And then the final spin that I have to show you after I've put my 1,000 stitches in is Pokemon. So before, this is a reminder what it did look like, and now after. I think this got 1,026. Yeah, so that's 1,026 stitches. I parked my threads, that is what it is. So it might look like a mess, but that's the way I like to stitch, each to their own. What I am thinking about doing is maybe a weekly, what's this, fall, maybe a weekly spin and show to show how I'm going until I reach the 10,000 stitches. It's just hard for me to pull the camera out. I need to wait for the right time when either my kids are in bed or visiting their auntie across the road to pull out the camera and be able to sit down. And even then, it's hard. Recording's hard. Look, I can't even wear my glasses. How annoying is that? I don't know how people do it. This is how people spend so much money on lighting and things to do cross stitch. Anyway, ramble. I'm done. Ciao. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will keep you updated about my little challenge. All right, happy stitching. Bye.